Welcome to the deep dive. You know, the global mining industry, maybe not always top of mind, is really in the spotlight right now. It's caught in this fascinating sort of tug of war. Geopolitics, energy problems, big sustainability pushes. It's all happening. So today we're going to dig into some recent industry news, unpack what's going on behind the headlines. You want to see what these global trends might actually mean for you, whether you're buying tech or just paying your energy bill. Let's jump in. Okay, first up, Europe. We're seeing a really significant move here. In the first half of 2025, the EU poured hundreds of millions of euros into Africa's mining sector. And this isn't just like random investment. It's very focused on exploration, infrastructure, sustainability, specifically for critical minerals. Think lithium, cobalt, rare earth stuff, absolutely vital for, everything green energy. So beyond just getting the materials, what's the deeper game here?
That's exactly the right question, because it's not simply about sourcing raw materials. This is really a big strategic shift. The goal, to seriously cut down the EU's dependence on Chinese supply chains. That's huge. And what's really interesting, I think, is the focus on African resource sovereignty. Trying to support local processing, developing the workforce there. But obviously that brings up big questions too. ESG, environmental, social governance. Is it genuinely sustainable long term? That's the key.
Right. And then almost the flip side of that coin, we're seeing Western metal smelters facing real trouble. Places like Namibia, the Philippines, they're looking at potential shutdowns.
Yeah.
Why? Crushing margins, basically, and intense competition from China. China's just massively expanded its processing, and their exports are, aggressive.
And that just ramps up the anxiety globally about securing critical minerals, doesn't it? If you connect those dots, it directly leads to these urgent calls we're hearing for government help, for subsidies in the West, because otherwise you're talking serious job losses, major supply chain headaches for everything from cars to phones. It's really become a strategic issue for these countries.
And speaking of countries wanting more control, look at Mali. They've actually started building a gold refinery. Backed by Russia, interestingly.
Right.
The aim is clear. Process their own gold, keep more value in Mali. It's another angle on resource nationalism, even with, all the challenges they face, stability, funding, etc.
Definitely part of that larger trend.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Market forces. In Australia, the big mining players are, they're sounding the alarm. They're asking for emergency energy relief because power prices are just soaring.
Yeah, it's hitting them hard.
It's threatening major smelters, processing plants, which would have a huge knock-on effect globally for things like aluminum, lithium.
And this really shows you just how exposed heavy industry is to energy shocks, right? It's not just a line item on their bill. It puts Australia's whole position in the global market at risk. Jobs too, of course. Imagine the ripple effect on prices for everyday stuff if those plants go offline.
Meanwhile, over in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, they've extended their cobalt export ban. It's now running through mid-2025. They say it's to stabilize global prices, especially with EV demand surging. And apparently, they're cracking down on illegal mining too. But on a more positive market note, at least for one company, Caledonia Mining. Big news. They reported an 86% profit jump. Why? Purely higher gold prices.
Yeah. And even with all the focus on green minerals, that gold surge is pretty telling, isn't it? It just reminds you gold is still that classic safe haven asset, reflects all the uncertainty out there, market volatility. So even as we talk critical minerals for the future, good old gold is still very much a major player, still very profitable.
Interesting contrast. Okay, let's talk sustainability leadership for a second. Fortescue Metals Group in Australia, they've set this really ambitious real zero emissions target for 2030.
Very ambitious.
Yeah, they're integrating renewables, battery electric trucks, even hydrogen-powered haul trucks. It's quite the commitment.
And what's powerful there is the signal it sends. Fortescue taking the lead like that puts real pressure on everyone else, on their competitors, to speed up decarbonization. It shows innovation is possible, even in heavy industry. But, it's not all smooth sailing for the green transition overall. These tensions around rare earth supply chains, there's still a major headache. Regulatory hurdles, export controls, they're definitely slowing things down, even with companies like Fortescue making strides.
So wrapping this up, it's clear the mining world is incredibly dynamic right now. You've got these huge geopolitical forces, energy costs causing chaos, and this undeniable push towards sustainability, all colliding.
Exactly. And what does this all mean for you listening? I think it really hammers home how interconnected everything is. Global industries, supply chains, it affects the cost of your phone, your laptop, but also bigger things like energy security and ultimately how fast we can actually move towards a greener economy.
So here's something to think about. With this intense global race for critical minerals heating up, how can nations possibly strike the right balance? That balance between getting the supplies we need right now versus long-term environmental protection and, crucially, social fairness. That's the big question we'll be watching.